Investigators from the Paris-based Financial Action Task Force found that there's a high risk that criminals will try to launder money or finance terrorism through the UAE. The FATF says there's little investigation of or prosecution for money laundering.
So there's one particular thing that none of the 90-day scammers, the 90-day residency scammers talk about. I'm going to talk about the flip side. I'm going to talk about that one thing that you need to be careful of that none of these people seem to bring up. I'm not saying that they're trying to hide this, but they never seem to discuss this one important consideration that you should take into account when you're choosing a 30, 60 or 90-day scheme. So a lot of YouTubers promote options in the Gulf, particularly the very popular Dubai Golden Visa. There's a recent edition of the 90-day scheme. Such schemes are very popular. They keep cropping up not just in Dubai, but various locations. The idea being you quickly complete some residency, you get tax residency, and then you don't pay taxes, right? You avoid all the taxes and you're good to go. But that's not true. You have your home country that's keeping a track of you. So let's say you're doing 30 days or 90 days in a particular location, you have to be very careful with your home residency requirements. But that's not what we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about one particular aspect of such residencies that you need to keep in mind. Now, when I talk about the 90-day scammers, I'm particularly referring to some YouTubers. Not all YouTubers are bad. We love some of them. One of the YouTubers I personally interviewed on my channel actually goes there, lives there. So fantastic guy. I love the guy. So not all are bad. But some seem to claim that they transport people to Dubai on a weekly basis. They have tons of clients and they do this 365 days a year and all of that. And now I don't know the authenticity of all of that. But what I'm trying to say is that there's one thing that no one really talks about, and we're going to discuss that today. But before we jump into this all exciting topic, if you're new, my name is Jay, and here we discuss investments that lead to Plan B residencies and citizenships. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, take a moment and subscribe now so you're always up to date on the latest and greatest regarding any of the programs. So that one thing that I'm going to particularly talk about how that one thing affects what you're trying to do, and that is the KYC. And I'm not talking about the personal KYC, I'm talking about the Know Your Country. Now there's a very good website that I refer, and when I refer things, this is not investment, immigration, legal or tax advice. This is educational content, my personal analysis and opinion on this topic. So this KYC, Know Your Country website, talks about the AML deficiencies, the sanctions. So let's say you're choosing a country, there are some sanctions on that country. How that affects is a broader topic, but what I'm trying to say is you've got to be aware of what you're signing up for. You've got to be aware of what country you're getting yourself associated with. The other thing that you have to be particularly aware of is the FATF gray list, which is the Financial Action Task Force. It's a watch list, right? So if a country is on the FATF gray list, there's a certain amount of watch or surveillance on that category or group of countries. So obviously you have to be aware of who you're associating with, because then you're going to be part of the society, part of the system. So that's where you have to be aware of what's going to happen. So how does the FATF gray list impact? Does it even make any difference? So first let's discuss who this does not make any difference for. So let's say you're going to an FATF gray listed country, for example, Turkey, Dubai, Pakistan. So these are just a few examples of FATF gray listed countries. Let's say you're going to Dubai. You're coming from Turkey, you're a Turkish person, or you're coming from Pakistan, you're a Pakistani, and you're going to Dubai. So that is a straightforward scenario. You are from an FATF country, you're going to an FATF country, so not a big deal, pretty straightforward, really shouldn't matter much. So let's say you're from the Western world, right? You're from US, Canada, Australia, etc. And you're going to an FATF gray listed country. One of the things that bothers your mind is that you want to avoid any audits, right? Let's say it's a CRA audit or an IRS audit. You typically want to avoid such kind of audits. Not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just when you have an audit, you have to answer a bunch of questions. It's a tiresome process. It's a burdensome process. It's a stressful process. So you want to do things correctly in the first place. So you aren't looking at lengthy audits, which can then and put you in a lot of grief, right? Eventually, if you're clean, you're clear, you will come out of the audit, you will answer it, but then you need tax accountants, you need lawyers, you need a bunch of other people to sit and reply and clear yourself from that audit and get through to the other end. So a lot of people don't really enjoy that process, so they want everything very crystal clear, they want everything in order, so that you can avoid that audit. Now, I'm not saying that if you go to a FATF gray listed country, it's automatically or it's most certain to create an audit, because I'm not a tax expert. This is something that you should always consult with the right professionals, but I'm saying you gotta be aware of the implications of what you're signing up for. And how does this impact, right? So let's say you're doing a banking transaction, you're parking funds, you're opening bank accounts, you're setting up businesses, it's an offshore structure, and you're particularly setting this up in an FATF gray listed country, then you may, and I'm not saying for sure, but you may need to answer a few more questions if there's any queries. And this is normal stuff. You can sit and answer as long as you're in the clean, and as long as you have time dedicated to answering all of this, then yes, it makes perfect sense. Now, when you talk about Dubai as a country, beautiful country, great country, a lot of people actually love Dubai. I personally love Dubai. It's a great country. Some of the schemes and the tax incentives that they create for people is very futuristic. It's one of my favorite countries. I have a lot of clients who love Dubai. I'm personally helping a couple of clients who are from Dubai. In my situation, the clients are from Dubai, South Asians who are looking to establish residencies outside, because obviously Dubai doesn't provide citizenship, and if you're in Dubai, you have your assets in Dubai, you have to be careful that you don't make mistakes, because then otherwise if you get kicked out, then your assets are pretty much screwed. So the objective of this video is not to criticize any residency or criticize any people. As I said, I love our fellow YouTubers. They provide some valuable insights and valuable information for all, so the community benefits at large. But this is that one thing that I really wanted to point out that no one seems to talk about, which is an important consideration in whatever you do in life. I hope this video was useful, insightful. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to get a few thumbs down. That's fine. You're feel free to share your feedback. There are some haters, but the good thing is they are watching the channel, they're consuming the material, they're getting enlightened. Interaction is always good, feedback is always good. Whether you like, dislike, or comment, it's all welcome as long as it's in good faith and with good intention. And before I let you go, if you haven't checked out my open appeal to Elon Musk, you can watch that video here. It's quite entertaining. And if you're not a fan of Elon Musk, then check this video out. This is Drew Binsky in Liberland. The passport seems to be gaining access, and I'm quite interested. All right, catch you in the next one.